So I started out by saying they are so beatable, at least the presentation of being so beatable, but they're undefeated. And I mentioned this a couple of days ago, that the brilliance of Andy Reid, now he's going to be overshadowed because Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, it's Andy Reid. And I don't know if we look at Andy Reid and put him in the category as one of the greatest coaches of all time. We should. I think it's the presentation of Andy Reid. Like, he's just like a big guy, fun guy. You know, he's in commercials and got the mustache. You know, that looks like the Kool-Aid guy. Like, oh, that's Andy Reid. But what he did with Philadelphia, now granted, didn't win a Super Bowl, but got them to numerous title games, NFC title games, and a Super Bowl. But what he's doing with Kansas City, and I think the genius of it is his ability to put players on offense. Now, you do have Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to make it work. But just looking at their weapons, really, their team is Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Chris Jones. If I'm looking at the pecking order of these are the must-haves, I would start with Mahomes, and then I would go to Andy Reid as most valuable. Kelce was in there. He's not in there. Chris Jones has to be in there. They can win without Travis Kelce. They cannot win without Chris Jones. Chris Jones is, it's still in the shadow probably of Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald, people probably still think Aaron Donald's playing, but Chris Jones is that guy. He's that guy. You got to know where he is. He's going to change the game. But I'm looking at the lineup with the Chiefs last night. They signed Kareem Hunt as a free agent. Now, they sent a 6th-round pick for Mecole Hardman last season from the Jets. They got Juju Smith-Schuster, a free agent. Carson Steele's a running back out of UCLA, undrafted. Sky Moore, former 2nd-round pick out of Western Michigan. Now, they did trade up to get Xavier Worthy, might be the fastest player in the game. Samaje Perine, a running back, signed him as a free agent, and he was released by Denver. That's it. Rashid Rice is going to be out for the rest of the year, but you're kind of throwing this together. And it did remind me of the Patriots, because Tom Brady made people stars, relevant. Kevin Falk, Troy Brown. Wes Welker had a little bit of success in Miami, but, he became more of a household name. Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola. Now, you did have Gronk. Like, he has a Hall of Famer, and Aaron Hernandez when he had him. But Tom didn't have offensive weapons. If you go back and look, now, he did have Randy Moss for 2 years, and they couldn't complete the mission there of going undefeated, winning the Super Bowl. But that ability to be able to take players and make them kind of mesh into something that's formidable, because they don't score. I'm looking at, and I had to do some research on this. If you include the postseason, the Chiefs have gone 15 consecutive games without scoring 30 points. Second longest active streak in the NFL behind the Patriots.
Woo! Ow! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! This is the stat of the day!
But they appear to be beatable. But last year, they started out 6-1. They finished 11-6. They went 5-5 to end the season. So, but when they need to win a game, they know how to win a game. They know how to close you out. So no matter what happens during the regular season, it doesn't matter to me. It matters when they get into a game that's a one-score game, and you have Mahomes, and they don't. They have Chris Jones, and you don't. They have Andy Reid, and you don't. Because Andy Reid is the best coach in football. And he has been for a while. But it's just the Mahomesian kind of blanket that's thrown over this team. And then you throw in Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, and there's Andy Reid over there. But Andy Reid is one of the great coaches in NFL history. It does help to have Mahomes. It does help to have Travis Kelce. It does help to have Chris Jones. But it's kind of filling in that gray area. That's the difference. Because there are so many teams now You're top heavy because your quarterback's making $50 million. Now you got to sprinkle, out the rest of the salaries and then bring in players. And I mean, they're bringing in free agents. Anybody could have had Kareem Hunt if they wanted him. I mean, that's the amazing part of this. Carson Steele, undrafted free agent. I think he was at Ball State, then went to UCLA. Juju Smith-Schuster, free agent. Xavier Worthy, they did trade up with Buffalo. Sky Moore, former second-round pick out of Western Michigan. Like, they're making it happen again. But it's not an accident. But I do think people tune in to see Kansas City lose. I do. I think it's gotten to that point where we're tired of this. Commercials, Taylor Swift. But they're here. They're not going anywhere. And it's pretty amazing. But give credit to the front office as well. They've done a wonderful job. But here's Patrick Mahomes after the win talking about his teammates stepping up.
I mean, Kareem just runs extremely hard. He gets every yard out there, catches the ball, does whatever it takes in order to go out there and win. And then Juju, y'all saw him 2 years ago. I mean, he fits in well in this offense. And so he did a great job today. So it was cool to get those guys going and then to step up. And it's going to be like that until we start getting some of these guys back. It's going to be everybody's going to have to step up and make plays.
He's right. But, is this sustainable? And the answer is yes. Because it's interchangeable parts. It's understanding the system. I think that's really the key. How many teams, franchises, have a system in place? The Patriots used to. The Patriot way. And this is what you're required to do on defense. This is what you're required to do on offense. But how many of those teams are out there where you go, plug and play? That guy will know what he's supposed to do with that team. Or this guy's coming back to this team. That's the interesting part, too, is you're getting players who played there, they're coming back, and then they're able to contribute. But who else is like the 49ers? I don't think they're there. The Lions aren't. Cowboys aren't. Eagles maybe, because they've had that group together for a little while, but they don't feel like they're – I mean, you want it to be formulaic where you can just plug in players and then you're able to go out there. You're not teaching people how to play in your system. They know your system. But having that ability to find those players, it's no different than what Brady did with his offense. Never had, that formidable team. Like they would score points, but it wouldn't be like, oh man, look out. I mean, Edelman never scared anybody until there was a game on the line and you needed a catch. Gronk always in the postseason, but he never had great running backs. I mean, he had Corey Dillon, I think, for a year or so, but that's their offense was predicated on that ability to be able to find players, plug and play. So I see that there's a similarity there with the Kansas City Chiefs, but they're undefeated. At the end of the day, undefeated.